Happy Friday, friends, and welcome to the August 23rd, 2024 edition of CP Sports. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and we are joined by our co-host, YC3, Pat, in the building.
How y'all doing? Back again.
We are back. Unfortunately, we hit a few snags. It was not broadcasting on Facebook, so now we got it going. I'm going to go ahead and share it on my stuff just right now. But we're going to go ahead and get this one kicked off with wrestling rather than ending it with wrestling like we usually do. I figured this way we can keep the tempo up, keep the energy up, and ride that out to the end, especially because, you're a bit more engaging with that because you follow it more often.
True.
We will still sprinkle in some NFL in there because whenever I set this up, I got a little carried away with all the wrestling stuff that's going on right now. And I put a lot of that in there and I could only fit so much. So it's probably going to be a regular size episode, but more wrestling than usual. We are going to start off as we get into what is it that we were getting into first?
Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm trying to share it here, but I'm trying to put you on there too.
That's cool. Well, we're gonna talk about Roman Reigns' comeback. Since the past 3 weeks, SummerSlam.
Was it 3 weeks?
It's been about 3 weeks.
But yeah. So Roman has been back for a little bit now. Still hasn't said a word.
No, has not said a word.
You had mentioned before the cast here, and I noticed the same thing. And what I like about it is he just looks like he means business. Like he's just ready to go, not speak, not doesn't want to waste a breath.
Exactly.
So I really like where they're going with that. And then this past week on SmackDown, they had where Roman Reigns finally attacked the bloodline.
Yep.
Regained control of the Uafala.
Yep.
He put it on. The fans lost their minds. His music hit. And it seemed like that was it. Like, okay, well, Roman is finally back. He's finally tribal chief. And they boom. Yeah,
right,
and they gave it some time too. They gave it some good time to sit there and simmer. So they went ahead and did that. And now it seems that who's gonna help Roman, because after that all the bloodline swarmed Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but we're missing the point. He got destroyed by the Samoan werewolf.
Oh,
you can't exclude the fact that, bro, he kicked him in the face with the boot. You know what I'm saying? The so-called broken leg, which he sold like a champ.
Well, I mean, you never know. There's actually something wrong there either.
Who knows?
They never really clarified on that, aside from Triple H saying he was banged up.
Yeah, I mean, you put a boot on it, you'll be all right, I guess.
You'll be all right.
I mean, Jacob ain't no punk, so I'm sure a lot of wrestlers fight through injuries. So, but yeah.
So after that, you see just the bloodline swarm him. Solo gets control of the Uafala again. And I love the way they're going with this because it builds it up more and more, because everybody's thinking, where are Jimmy and Jay? Like, where are the Usos? Is somebody going to help Roman? Is he just going to get attacked every week by...
Yeah.
And it pisses people off, especially with the new bloodline. A lot of people hate the new bloodline, but that's perfect for how they're building this thing. And it's just that simple fact that they're just making you wait longer and longer. It's that build up to the pop when they do show up. Yeah. And it's going to be that much better and that much louder.
It's going to be like Endgame. Roman's Captain America's be like, bloodline, assemble. And everyone's just going to come up. Jay's going to be like, on your left.
That would be nice. I don't know when they will do it. When is Survivor Series?
Man, just know it's in November. I don't know the actual date yet, but
so we are creeping up on Survivor Series. So I would suspect that we should see that carry on here soon.
Yeah, which we've been talking about for a while. Just to have a War Games match with them, Bloodline Civil War, but everyone's always like, oh, that's what they're building up to, man. It's been like that since Mania. And I just told Chris earlier today that my speculation for how the match would end is Rock interfering, and then Roman and Rock can build up their WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Which everybody wants now after Cody finished the story.
Especially because, like, ever since he's been gone, that's all people have been chatting for is Roman.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody else. It's all been Roman.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want Roman.
Dude, back in the day,
all that.
He didn't have no aura. Now he does. Like when his music hit at SummerSlam, everyone was just going nuts. And even some dude, I saw some video, some dudes it got quiet. He's all, where are you, Roman? And then as soon as his music started, he's all, oh, like he popped our hardcore. So I mean, people want to see him, dude. And this is gonna solidify him as like the greatest of all time. Like I told Chris earlier, like it's cool to have a championship, but for you to be the man with no belt, you know what I mean? And you just walking around with no strap, but you still the top guy, regardless of what anybody says. That's when you made it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And he's been doing great in that position. I remember, like you said, he had no aura coming in. He was very cookie cutter. It seemed like he didn't know what to say a lot of the times. And then you got to add that up with they were going off strictly script at that time as well. So it was a lot harder for him to get through to people. But now he has, and it's going really well for him. I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. But he was advertised for this week's SmackDown, and apparently he's been pulled off of advertising. With people speculating that he's no longer going to be on SmackDown, which I feel like makes the most sense because he just got attacked on SmackDown last week.
Yeah.
So he's got to sit there and sell that for a little bit at least. Solo Sikoa is still advertised for this week, which I would imagine he's going to call Roman Reigns out even more and, poke the bear even more like he has been recently. But I'm excited to see how this pays off and where it's going to pay off at, because it's not just going to pay off at War Games.
You think they're going to do something like Bash at Berlin?
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of
I feel
too
like
late.
They should leave that.
I mean, how many? Well, we'll get to that later, I'm sure, right?
What?
The card for Bash at Berlin?
No.
Okay, well, I mean, what's really announced on there?
One thing, we went over that last week.
Yes, I remember, but you don't think they could add another match to the card?
I don't know, but Punk is having a strap match after all.
We did call that. Which, I mean, they alluded to with the whole him putting out the belt thing, which was cool.
I'm excited for the strap match because I want to see what they can do on, I guess you could say a WWE scale, because strap matches don't happen often. And back when, AEW was at its infancy, there was a couple ones with Cody and then
Brody.
there was, yeah. So I'm excited to see what they can do. They're going to do that whole four corners thing. I remember one of my favorites was it JBL and Batista?
That was a good one.
I think it was that one. Backlash years ago. But I'm excited to see that strap match back.
The Samoan strap match was good, only because that was around the Super Cena era, and Umaga beat him up pretty bad.
Oh, I forgot about that strap match.
Yeah.
Yes. But I like how they don't do that. They don't overdo gimmicks, and they have been implementing that recently with getting rid of Hell in a Cell,
pay-per-views.
Elimination Chamber, and now we have not Bash at the Beach. Why was I going to say that? Now we have Bad Blood coming up,
which I heard that they're gonna. That after this, the culmination of the strap match is going to end in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, which makes sense because that's where the first Hell in a Cell started.
With Shawn and yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch that match again. That match was so good.
It is good. One of the things I love from that match is the camera angle they get when Shawn's at the top of the cage.
Yeah,
and that blood trickles down to the screen
that was good.
The lens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I like that they're implementing that. No more gimmick pay-per-views. Instead, the gimmick matches will just be held on regular pay-per-views or PLEs, whatever the hell you want to call them anymore. But since we were on the topic of stables, I did want to bring up JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley revealed this past week on NXT that they will be now named Fatal Influence. Unfortunately, they may have hit a snag. NXT held double tapings on the 20th. During the second taping, apparently Fallon Henley teamed with JC Jane to face Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Something went wrong, though. And according to Corey Brennan, Fightful, Henley suffered a possible broken nose, but finished the match. But then you look at that, it's possible broken nose. So I don't know.
I did hear something about this.
I'm thinking possibly it's something to do with the storyline, because Henley and Nix are fatal influence. I was gonna call them Fatal Attraction. Dang, they should do that.
No,
they should do that. Mandy comes back. Anyway.
no, stop booking fantasy booker. Okay, no.
But
chill, Kevin Sullivan.
Fatal Influence, they've been talking about how there's all nothing but athletes now instead of indie wrestlers. They're in NXT because they hold that whole what is it called?
NIL, next in line.
There you go. They hold that all the time with a bunch of athletes, former basketball players. Jakara Jackson, I believe, is a former WNBA player herself.
Okay.
And
I know there's some like
Lash Legend, she's a former player as well. I think hers, I can't remember if she made it to the WNBA or something like that. I can't really recall, but they're using that whole premise like, oh, we went through the indies, we've been through it together, we came up whenever it was a lot harder, and now you athletes have it good. And I'm thinking possibly that Lash Legend and Jakara broke Fallon Henley's nose, and they're going to use that as, oh, see, you're an unsafe worker, but I'm not sure. This is just speculation, especially because he said possible broken nose.
I mean, that'd be a really cool angle, really. You know what I'm saying? To what was the words I'm looking for? To like
make it more based in reality. In that sort of sense.
Yeah, I was going to say blur the lines between the two. That's what I was going to say. Like, oh, I get it, because there was that whole thing a while back too. The whole, oh well, you're not a real wrestler, like what the Miz went through.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like, oh, you're just a tough enough guy. What Maven went through, you guys really ain't. Y'all ain't cut to do what we do. And then look at the Miz now.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that might be the route they're going with the way they're setting this thing up. Hopefully that's the route they're going, and she didn't get hurt, because you hate to see people get hurt and then, their push, or even just now how she just got into that whole faction, could just fall apart.
Yeah.
And I hate to see that happen, because that happens way too often.
Yeah, I feel that.
But moving forward, we do have, since we're talking NXT, Joe Hendry will be taking on All Ego Ethan Page at NXT's No Mercy in Denver, as the TNA WWE relationship continues to flourish. After winning the #1 contender triple threat, Joe Hendry is set to headline the PLE when NXT hits the road on September 1st, and is looking to stay on the road soon. It seems when they move to CW, NXT will be touring live once again. And the first episode will feature CM Punk from Chicago, October 1st. The CW has since added multiple affiliates across the U.S. to carry their primetime entertainment, live sports, and special events this fall. According to a press release, Next Star Media Group stations WJBF of Irving, Texas, Augusta, Georgia's WJB, or I guess I put that in twice. That's messed up. Augusta, Georgia, Monroe, Louisiana's KARD, and I think Terre Haute, Indiana, I think is how you say it. They're WTWO, and Utica, New York's WFX TV are all becoming affiliates beginning in September and October. Andrew Alford, the president of Nexstar Broadcasting Division, said that, quote, as CW's number one affiliate group, Nexstar is very pleased to be airing the network's programming on these stations this fall, especially with NASCAR Xfinity Series racing and WWE's NXT joining a very robust lineup of sports programming, including Live Golf and ACC college football and basketball, along with Pac-12 football. Adding to the CW's programming to these stations will offer advertisers, a variety of new linear and digital opportunities to reach millions of viewers. The CW reach continues to widen ahead of their new schedule, and they also offer their stuff through their app. I don't know if you know this, the Live Golf thing streamed on the CW app, which is free. So pretty much virtually anybody can watch NXT now, and I hope this helps their numbers. Their numbers have been shooting up a lot more often recently with the whole TNA thing and more WWE stars showing up there, which is something they've been working on for quite some time, and they have seen a rise in viewers. And you know what? I just realized I'm not playing any music,
but it's cool. It's cool. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, it's this. I mean, it's also cool because usually, like, for those who don't have cable, I mean, I don't even have cable, but because I use streaming services. But for those who do have cable, or cable at all, antenna cable, antenna TV, as I call it, antenna
TV. It's free over there, TV. Antenna TV.
No, I mean, I had it too, man. Back in the day, putting up the antenna.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I still have an antenna out there. I don't really use it, but
yeah. But CW have so many more options. They were the home of the superhero shows for DC for a while, so people were tuning
favorites.
In there. Yeah, we know.
We're gonna bring up that later. So keep going.
Okay, true. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you know why.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. But
Me
anyway,
too.
Yeah. But man, NXT. I was telling Chris this too. He watched NXT when like Bray and Bo and Roman and all of them were in NXT. Imagine that now back then if they had that on regular TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then instead of me who watched just like main roster wrestling at the time.
Back in the day, they on the CW they used to always have ROH. That's how I always watched ROH.
That too. Well, you watched way more than I did, but I mean, I did
with
catch
Kevin Steen.
So, Kevin Steen. See, even that,
it was great.
It was cool. It was cool to see.
I miss when ROH was an actual thing and not just like.
I told you it's Limbo. We just talked about that. It's AEW and then Limbo is ROH. It's sad to say, but it is what it is.
ROH.
Anyway. Again,
go ahead.
We're talking about NXT, but everything else like NASCAR. Chris talking about that Pac-12 football. It just makes more eyes come to the product.
Yeah, there's already going to be people seeking out CW. So now with the cross promotions between all those, especially with WWE making all those legacy titles now and giving them to team members and whatnot, it's just going to widen the audience and there's going to be more people tuning in. So it's a good move on not only the CW's part, but on WWE's part.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to have more eyes to the product. I feel like this is going to shoot them up there even more, especially with them going on the road. That's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
So they're going back on the road, and they're not going to be over there at the performance center where people have to travel to them.
Exactly.
So we'll see how it goes. I hope.
It's a draw.
I hope they have a big draw once they go live again, and we'll have to just wait and see. But speaking of TV deals, owner and CEO of AEW, Tony Khan, wore a Max hat during an interview with Brandon Walker on Barstool's Wrestling. When asked about the hat, Khan replied, it was, or quote, I was given this hat, and it's a lovely hat. I think it's a wonderful streaming service, and this hat was gifted to me in Paris as a part of a great backpack of stuff I had in my hotel room when I got there for the Olympics. I spent a great time with Mr. David Zaslav and all the great people at Warner Brothers Discovery. They are very kind to us, end quote. So does this mean that gap is finally being bridged between Warner Brothers and AEW? I'm hoping so. It sounds good.
It does.
At least for the product.
Yeah. I mean, but we just gotta see what factors, like, if Warner Brothers Discovery is gonna be like, okay, well, this is what we want. I mean, obviously they want more eyes on the product, so they really gotta kick it into gear if that's the plan. The
AEW deal, or the rights deal, has yet to be finalized, with the latest update coming from Fightful Select indicating Warner Bros. Discovery sources claiming there is still some quote-unquote red tape to cut through. WBD made AEW a new offer, and they're said to be very confident in that offer. So no details on when that offer is going to get done or if it has been done yet.
This is what's going to happen.
Just waiting.
They're going to be like, okay, when you're no longer the booker, Shane's the booker. Shane McMahon could be the booker.
Dude, I hope. I really do. Because that's the only way it's
and there's already.
Well, I don't want to say that's the only way it's going to get better, because apparently it is getting better.
Yeah.
Dynamite sold out this past week, and then All In's coming, and then they got that Get now, which is obviously we've been talking about Ricochet for some time.
I do want
things went silent.
Yes.
And now we have an update, and apparently Fightful Selects. Sean Ross Sapp reported that Ricochet has signed a new deal with AEW, and the former WWE star is speculated to be a part of Sunday's All In. Plans have yet to be confirmed, but you'd imagine he'd show up maybe at that Casino Gauntlet match that they have debuted many in the past. And ahead of Dynamite, they're sold out, so their numbers are back up, and they're also I would believe sold out for All In, because over there in England they love AEW.
If they're smart, they'll have him interfere in that Will Ospreay match. I'm
with you, because I wouldn't put him into that match just for the simple fact that when has it worked?
Never.
You know how many people have debuted in either that or the Casino Battle Royal match, or that, what was the other one, the brass ring crap, remember?
Yeah.
When Brian Cage came out. Ring. Yeah. So it makes you kind of step back and think, nah, they shouldn't go this route. They should go a different route where he's going to be launched into the main picture, rather than just somebody who's just come
in as a heel, attack Ospreay, and because that's what everybody wants. I mean, like I said, like, it's cool, I guess. I mean, but they're just gonna do the same thing they did in Guerrilla Pro Wrestling, or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, whatever it was called. Sorry, it was the second one, right?
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yeah, my bad. GWP, whatever. So yeah, dude, it's cool if you're a fan of what. It's cool. I don't know how to explain it as far as the wrestling, because I feel like that's the only reason they're going for it, is so he can work with Ospreay like that.
Well, and then some of them want to have that creative freedom to do what they want to do. They don't want to necessarily wrestle with the style of WWE. But like we've talked about, some of these younger cats, they don't know really how to put that psychology into their matches, like the older ones that want to go there and do what they want to do, but they know how to sell all that.
I mean, like I guess you could say that with Edge. You know what I'm saying? Edge has all this knowledge. He's a great man for the business, but he went to AEW because he wanted to do what he wanted to do. I want to work with my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. You know, I want to be able to work with these other people. You know, like I guess I get it, but it's whatever. I mean, I still like Ricochet regardless. I've been a fan of his, so I'm.
Prince Puma.
Yeah, whatever he's doing, I'll support it. You know.
What if he came there with the Prince Puma mask?
That'd be cool.
At least just to come in from the crowd with that mask on and take it off, and it's Ricochet, because obviously we all know he is Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. So I would love to see that. But headlining that All-In pay-per-view will be Bryan Danielson, who will be competing for the title once again, but this time against current champ Swerve Strickland. Bryan's neck has been a point of contention since he was forced to retire in 2016, and things really haven't changed much. Danielson still feels it after his triumphant return in 2018, and throughout his time in AEW, Bryan has been vocal about it, even in promos leading to his matches. When talking to Bleacher Report, Danielson said, quote, "My neck is trash, but other than that, I feel good. One of the things that I'm good at is experiencing pain and not necessarily affecting me much. It doesn't really affect my mental space. The only thing that it does kind of affect is my parenting, because our son is poor and wild. He loves jumping on my back and jumping on my neck, and I'm like, stop."
Yeah. Yeah, I think every dad out there can experience that. If you have neck issues or not, your kids are always on top of you, man.
Hanging on you.
Yeah, and my big boy is gonna be 8. He's heavy. And then I
can second that.
Yeah.
I've carried him before.
Oh yeah. No, and this is crazy, man. I know exactly how that feels. But you know, shout out to Daniel Bryan though for still doing what he loves and giving the fans what they want. You know, I can't knock the guy. I was sad when he retired. I was happy when he came back. I was kind of upset, but also I was actually watched that pay-per-view where he came out, and I was like, oh wow, like this is gonna be pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I like how he was like, I'm gonna kick your effing head in and just all that crap. He just came to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's carried that with him ever since he went to AEW, which is cool.
Yeah, I love Daniel Bryan. Is just, I don't think I've caught one of his matches in a while. Or Bryan Danielson, excuse me. I don't know what came over me. But he was the only one. Well, him, pretty much most of the Blackpool Combat Club, and then Jay White, and a couple of others over there in AEW were the only reason I would tune in and watch a couple matches. But it was nothing like when it first came out and I was watching every Wednesday and purchasing every pay-per-view. That ended once we had too many Stadium Stampede matches and Mimosa Mayhem matches and Sparkler matches and
Oh, and then Sammy Guevara almost killed Jeff Hardy.
Sparkler matches. What, the exploding ring match?
Get the heck out of here!
It was like sparklers popped off at the ring post.
I know that. I just think that's what the heck you were talking about.
What was it? Exploding death match?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nothing like an exploding death match.
WWE
I've seen an exploding death match, and it's no.
Oh no! Are we talking about like the stuff Foley did? That's crazy. I don't. Those
legit exploding death matches.
Those matches are wild. But anyway, we're getting off. We'll talk about that another time.
But like, I try not to criticize the product because I don't watch it as often anymore. So it's like I want them to succeed, obviously, like any sane person would, especially because it makes the business that much better.
I feel like what you like, you, because you say that a lot, but what you want as a wrestling fan, you want to be able to be like, hey, what they doing over there? You know what I'm saying? That's what I want too. Because it used to be like that. Like, I would only hate to be that guy, but when Punk came back, I watched the whole entire feud with him and MJF because I knew that was going to be gas.
Oh yeah,
like that was automatically going to be fire. And then on top of that, because Punk he's that dude. Regardless, you hate him or not, you love him or not, he made all those little feuds he did have mean something too.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had matches down the line with Adam Page and all that stuff. They just did business the right way. But we got beef. Okay, well let's talk about it in the ring, and then we have a match about it. You know what I'm saying? So there were moments like even with MJF. I know you don't like it, but I kind of did like that whole Sinatra thing. Him and stupid. But that's just a music fan.
I don't know why the hell they did that.
I just like music, so that's why.
But they did a lot of stupid stuff with Chris Jericho, Mr. Lunch be over there.
While we're on the topic of Chris Jericho, I have to give homie props because as an artist, a lot of great performers have performed at Wembley Stadium, and he also has a band, and he got to
Oh, he performed at Wembley?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did Judas at Wembley.
That's not surprising. I'm sure a lot of people
saw that in person with Chris, and that just dope. I know he was fulfilled that day.
Yeah, that we did see that in person. That was nice.
Yeah,
it was nice to meet. Well, kind of. It's just a picture.
Yeah, it still meant something. You know what I'm saying?
It was a good night. It was a good night. I'm not going to deny. That's how we discovered Maddie Rinkowski, Ren Sinclair in NXT now.
Yeah,
because that was like one of her first matches. Was before that Chris Jericho concert or the Fozzy concert, excuse me. Yes. Feel bad for saying that, like, for the band. I'm sorry, guys.
Another cool thing about that night is that we made eye contact and she spoke to me. I met another wrestling legend that night.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
because we were sitting there, we kept on talking to her. Like,
get her. You know, that was cool to see her. One of my favorite women wrestlers, one of my favorite black women's champion. You know what I'm saying? Besides Jacqueline.
Oh, I love Jacqueline.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely love. But that was a nice night. Actually, Ren Sinclair is part of that No Quarter Catch crew now. Did you see that?
No, I did not. That's cool.
It's freaking great, dude. So like, she won in order to get Charlie Dempsey a shot at the Heritage Cup, which Charlie Dempsey did win.
I did see that.
But she's been like kind of just inserting herself. So she'll like take the mic and, do promos, and she has that, like that really funny smile where she knows like she's just being dorky and quirky.
Yeah.
And, she does the whole thing. Yeah. She even did it before they started like saying, you're in the No Quarter Catch crew. So
that's cool.
I love the way she's going about it over there in NXT. She always had that personality, and it's shining over there with the No Quarter Catch crew. So it's nice to see her achieving her goals and her dreams.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for what you're about to say next.
Oh yeah. Well, since we were talking about TNA and NXT's relationship, former TNA president, right? I think he was the president of TNA, Scott D'Amore, is on to his next venture as he resurrects Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I've been pumped about this report, but things pretty much just got better. And D'Amore revealed on Insight with Chris Van Vliet that former NXT boxing and MMA commentator Mauro Ranallo will be the voice of the product.
Man, and that's dope. I'm gonna watch just because of that, because that's my favorite announcer. He gives me mad like JR vibe. Like,
I love Mauro Ranallo.
He's so like into it. You can tell his passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
And not even when he does MMA, like you can just legend.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I've always loved Mauro Ranallo when he was doing his thing in boxing and MMA. He started a lot of his career really started with wrestling, him commentating over wrestling. when he was younger, and there's a whole thing about it. If you ever want to check it out, it's called the Bipolar Rock and Roller. Mauro Ranallo, right? Yeah, and it's I believe it's on Paramount Plus with Showtime, or if you just have Showtime on your cable subscription, if you still do cable. But he's a great addition to Maple Leaf Pro, and he's also a Canadian. So that strikes there.
I'm just fantasy booking here. First match, fellow Canadian Ryan Reynolds versus Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, the Aussie versus the Canadian. Let's go. Hey, and one of them's been in the ring already, and he you know, does stiff hits too.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
I just watched the video about Hugh Jackman being a guest on Raw, and forgot who. I think it was Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I think it's Dolph.
Yeah, Dolph's like, punch me for real. He's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, punch me, and he's like, he punched me, all right.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. I'm excited for Mauro though. I know last time when Canelo fought, he was the commentator for that. My brother was telling me that you can watch the fight with the VPN for Mexico and have it to where, you know, because in Mexico they get to watch it for free. And I was doing that, but of course it was in Spanish. And I caught wind that Mauro Ranallo was commentating, and I was like, no, I'm buying this pay-per-view. So I went ahead and bought it just because Mauro Ranallo was commentating.
He's that good of a commentator. I don't know how to explain it. Like when,
just his energy.
Yeah, that's what it is. You could just tell the passion. He's a fan, first and foremost. You could tell that, and the passion in his voice. And he's one of those people who don't like to be told what happened, so he can genuinely react. Like he can react to it for real. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be nice to see him back in the wrestling fold. I know he was with MLW for a short stint.
Used to be in WWE till JBL was
well, he's going to be brought up in this soon. But speaking of MMA,
really did
and TNA, Bobby Lashley made his next moves known by announcing his plans to box in Vegas, but that's not all. Lashley said he's doing it all on the Bosch and Them show, going on to say, quote, wrestling, yes. Boxing, yes. MMA, yes. Acting, yes. Everything, yes. I have a lot of different things going on right now. My nonprofit working with kids. I love doing that and working with kids. I want to give back. I do a lot of real estate. I've been linking with some real estate professionals in Texas to bring some of my properties here and doing work here. Wrestling, I still want to wrestle. I love wrestling. The fans are writing me every day. Like, when are you coming back? Where are you going? We want to be there for you. I love the fans. So Lashley opted not to resign with the company after that. He's going off to explore not just one option. He's going back to explore multiple options.
Yeah, I heard a lot about this. There's speculation that he's going to be at AEW. The speculation, I don't know if it's true or not, that they tried to trademark Hurt Syndicate for, you know, a potential Hurt Business reunion with, what's it called? MVP, Sheldon, Bobby. Could be Ricochet too, because they originally wanted Ricochet too. That's also why.
Yeah, that I didn't even think of that until you said that.
Yeah, so it could be a lot of different factors. Dude. So much crazy stuff can happen. You know what I mean? You never know. But yeah, either way, like, I like Bobby Lashley. If he does do movies, always my gears are turning. You know, I like to see my boy be a superhero or something. Maybe Super Surfer. He's like freaking a statue. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a Greek statue, dude. Like, that dude's cut. built. Like, you know what I mean? I seen him freaking squish a watermelon with bare hands. Like,
now, of course, since we're talking about, contracts being up, one of the biggest names did sign a new contract with WWE. John Cena was on Club Shake Day, where he spoke about his relationship with the company, saying, quote, "They are my family. Even after 2025, I've already signed an extension to remain a member of the WWE family for the near, mid, and long-term future. I don't think there will be a beat of my heart where WWE blood doesn't come out of it." End quote.
Yeah, man. It's not really a swan song. I'm just glad, and I'm gonna make it a point to make sure that I see Cena if he comes to Stand during those 30 dates, 40 dates that he promised the fans. And
I want to make it to one. We'll see if I'll be able to.
John Cena's the GOAT.
But whatever. At least I'll watch it.
Yeah, but still, it'd be cool to be there to say bye to Cena. But he's the GOAT.
Now, speaking of contracts, Jonathan Gresham signed his own contract recently with Memphis Championship Wrestling. Gresham will be a full-time wrestler on the roster, as well as taking the role as mentor and coach. Although he signed and appeared this past Saturday, Gresham's contract does not affect his status with TNA. Gresham was part of the most recent TNA TV tapings featuring a match with NXT's Charlie Dempsey on This Week's Impact, which I haven't watched yet, and I need to get to because it sounds like a hell of a match.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because both of them are great technical wrestlers, and I'd love to see that one. Current TNA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Nemeth defended his AAA Mega Championship this past weekend on Triple Mania against Alberto El Patron. With the two familiar faces in new places, we saw some other familiar faces with WWE Hall of Famer John Bradshaw Layfield accompanying Nemeth to the ring. JBL only sat ringside while former Alberto Del Rio low-blowed the former Dolph Ziggler after a seesaw of a match. It was a pretty good match, but obviously obtained the victory in heel fashion. Conan came out. Conan spoke. Unfortunately, I'm not that good with Spanish, so I don't even know what the hell is going on.
I gotta watch it.
But I still watched it because of the matches. I sent you that video of La Paca coming back
to go,
and they played Thriller when he came out.
Yeah.
So I was like, Pat would love that.
Yes. if anybody knows me, my favorite masked wrestler is not Rey Mysterio. It's La Parca.
I always loved him.
Yeah.
From the WCW days. That's how I got introduced to him, obviously.
Coming with the chair, swinging the knees.
Psychosis was there, too. Psychosis had a match in which he regained his mask to somebody else who's wearing his mask. But that was in like a whole trios, triple threat in some crazy ass cage. They do some crazy stuff over there in AAA.
Triple is wild. Like, they still have that old school wrestling aspect, but they have that spectacle too. That's why I like when I do catch it.
Well, I mean, if anybody wants to catch it, if you just throw a VPN on, say that you're in Mexico, use HBO Max, you can watch a lot of the AAA Triple Mania videos that they have on there.
That's fire. I'm gonna have to get NordVPN. Not the video sponsor today. We ain't got there yet.
No, I have Surfshark. I've had it for a while because they had a student discount when I first got it. So I've had it ever since because, oh man, it's so nice to be able to like throw a VPN on, go on Triller TV. If you want to order a wrestling pay-per-view or a boxing pay-per-view at a discounted price because the VPN you're using is cheaper over there than it is here. So it's always nice to have that VPN at your disposal.
I'm saying I'm in Mexico for everything. Paying with U.S. dollars, Mexico currency.
So, of course, Alberto El Patron took the victory. JBL commented on his appearance on X, saying, quote, incredible night and show in Mexico City. Honored to be a part and be there for one of our business all-time greats, Nick Nemeth. These guys packed him in AAA, or Lucha Libre AAA. I've always wanted to own a company in Mexico, end quote.
Yeah,
more like he wanted to own some Mexicans. You remember that feud with Rey Mysterio and the one with Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah.
I figured that was like the whole reason he had came out, like to just be that heel aspect, because he talked crap about Mexicans so much in those
days back in the day. Yeah.
So I was hoping that was the route he was going to take.
Did he tell Eddie to cut his grass?
Possibly.
Most likely he did.
Horrible.
Not entertaining at all.
Horrible.
I'm appalled.
There's also been news, since we're talking about TNA. This is some unfortunate news that recently broke. Former WWE star Rich Homie Swann is back in hot water.
I want to trade. I need money for that.
Swann was arrested on June 8th in Florida, according to the public arrest report obtained by Post Wrestling. Swann allegedly attempted to force his way into an apartment he believed was his due to being inebriated.
Okay.
A resident was getting in the shower when he heard the loud bang at his front door. And in a sworn statement, the resident said that's when my son started yelling for me to come to the door. I came out of the bathroom and I heard a loud bang, so I went to my room and grabbed my handgun. I announced that I had a gun and whoever was banging on my door to leave, end quote. When Swann allegedly started yelling, "This is my house," the resident met him at the door, which resulted in Swann leaving the property and going towards the nearby woods. Swann's apartment was a short distance from the incident, and the resident opted not to press charges, but police received another call at the same time as the initial call from a woman in the neighborhood. According to this report, the lady was picking up Amazon packages from her son's apartment when she said, quote, "I heard a male trying to talk to me. He started following me and I asked him to stop," end quote. Swann allegedly replied, "What do you mean stop following you?" So she ran, and Swann allegedly followed her up to her door. She was able to get in the door, or get in the house and lock the door. After getting him in custody, officers confirmed he was the one trying to get into the apartment by escorting him back to the premise. Officers then FaceTimed the woman to verify Swann was the man who allegedly followed her. Reports suggest Swann was incoherent and smelled of alcohol. When asked how much he had to drink, Swann replied, "A lot." He was released the following day on a $250 bond, according to court records. Swann wasn't present at his pretrial hearing this past Wednesday, but his defense attorney was there on his behalf. He's set to appear for a hearing on September 4th. This is his second run-in with the law, as Swann had a similar offense 2 years ago that was not reported by media when he was arrested for allegedly causing a disturbance while intoxicated at the apartment complex he lives. TNA told Post Wrestling, quote, "TNA Wrestling takes any and all charges against its performers seriously. Rich Swann is responsible for his own personal actions. He has informed TNA Wrestling that he's voluntarily entering into a substance abuse rehabilitation program. TNA Wrestling suspended Rich pending the completion of its investigation into the incident," end quote.
That's a lot, but No, that happened a while ago. So I guess repercussions, and then you could just bounce back from this. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard, especially now that he's in the public eye in a negative way, and it's not like, you know, that's new to him. Hopefully it's not another Jeff Hardy situation.
Yeah, because he's a really talented guy, man.
And he can get back on his feet.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure. I mean, he did look like he was doing a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But on to another small wrestling company. The National Wrestling Alliance's NWA 76 goes down on the 31st. NWA president and Smashing Pumpkins frontman is set to make a special announcement regarding the NWA's future.
The world is a land.
Doesn't he come out to that song?
No,
Billy Corgan.
I don't think so. Dude, but if I was really crazy, I'd come out to all my songs, bro. Smashing Pumpkins go hard. I'm just being real.
But we'll have to wait and see what that announcement is.
Are they still on YouTube? Sorry.
No, they're on the CW. Remember, they're on the app. Just the app.
I gotta get the app.
And you can watch it live on the app as well, but it's not available through the CW's actual channel, which I'm wondering if that's going to be the point of contention here.
Okay.
Which I would assume it is.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about streaming services and things of that nature, with Netflix set to be the new home of Monday Night Raw, they've been doubling down on wrestling content with the most recent Wrestlers series and the upcoming bio series of Dump Matsumoto, titled Queen of Villains, set to premiere September 19th. Ooh. Netflix also picked up the canceled Star series Heels, which featured the Green Arrow's Stephen Amell, including WWE star CM Punk, and his wife, also former WWE star AJ Lee. Heels is set to premiere just days before Queen of Villains on September 15th, and being canceled after the second season. Obviously, there was little hope for a third season, but Netflix is picking up the first two seasons, and now there's renewed hope.
Yes, I felt like this was gonna happen. I'm so happy.
Heels director and executive producer Peter Siegel said that they were on the wrong network when speaking in an interview, and going on to say, quote, Netflix just paid $5 billion for the WWE, and we're flirting with the possibility of landing there, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but there it is. It would be great if it worked out, end quote.
All right. Well, you need to put more respect on my boy Ace Spade's name, aka Alexander Ludwig, because that's my boy.
I like him too. But
I know, I'm just messing with you. But I love that show, and I'm kind of sad too because I do this a lot with certain shows I really like. I try to space them out so I don't finish them in one day, 2-3 days.
I try to, but that's hard.
But unfortunately, it bit me in the behind because I didn't get to finish.
And they got rid of it.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. As soon as it canceled,
they
dropped it off the stars.
So this is my chance to finish it. Finish the story.
I watched that. It's just when...
Oh, don't tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
I am.
Just be quiet. I know something crazy happened. I don't want to know.
So hopefully it works out for them. And since we're on the topic of Netflix, I don't know if you remember, they were supposed to have a Hulk Hogan biopic. Well, Chris Hemsworth was announced to play the WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan back in 2019 in a biopic that was supposed to premiere on Netflix. But since then, many stories came out about the wrestler, and now that thing has been in developmental hell. The Joker director, Todd Phillips, was a part of the movie, speaking on Variety, promoting the Joker Foulade Adu, which means the Mad 2, I believe. He said, quote, I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me, end quote. Now, regarding that Hulk Hogan movie, it seems like that project is being killed. You know, it was dropped by Netflix in 2023. But Phillips did say for me, so I'm sure they're still trying to shop the whole idea around.
Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen, always having something good happen and then it doesn't happen. But I mean, regardless, dude, I think that they should just do the movie because he had all these things happen in his life doesn't mean that he wasn't the poster child for wrestling for years. Yeah. So I mean, there's people who can still. That doesn't matter when it outweighs the bad and the good. So I just think they should go do the movie, dude. It'd be great for if Chris Hemsworth still wants to do the movie. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a good
although we won't get, or the biopic might be dead. PW Insider's Mike Johnson reported that the Hulkster will still be portrayed in film, with the reports saying that a screenplay based on Hogan versus Gawker court case is moving forward and is entitled Killing Gawker. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's Artist Equity is eyeing January 2025 to start production, and Affleck is set to be portraying the Hulkster.
Get the heck out of here.
So now his whole court case against Gawker is, I mean, it is a big story. Gawker was targeting celebrities at the time with celebrity sex tapes, and that's how Hulk Hogan's came out.
Okay.
So it is a story of significance. So, I mean, I would watch it.
I'm only interested now because I want to see what the heck Ben Affleck
looks like
as Hulk Hogan. Brother Damon, I mean, Gawker. Let me tell you something, Gawker. I fought the googly Gawker. I can fight you too. Drop the pig. Didn't he just say something controversial too about dropping that?
Yes.
Oh God! Stop living the gimmick, Hulk Hogan. Stop.
No, he's not living the gimmick. That's him.
I know.
He's weird.
You just don't. Okay, let me rephrase that. Don't tie in wrestling with your own political views. Don't do that.
Now, last but not least on our wrestling part, because we still haven't even got to the NFL part, and it's almost an hour already.
That's good.
WWE stars former WWE stars are taking part in Black Label Pro's DraftKings Wrestling Combine titled Crowning Glory. Mike Rallis and the former Riddick Moss, or Madcap Moss if you're nasty.
Oh God.
MJ if you're nasty. You know what I'm talking about, right? Marvel Jesus.
Yes.
Please, Marvel Jesus. MJ if you're nasty. Oh man, that Deadpool was great. Anyway, he's going to be participating in that one along with his girlfriend, Tennille Dashwood, formerly Emma in WWE. Also returning to the ring, Mandy Sachs, known by WWE fans as Mandy Rose, enters the ring for the first time since being let go from the company. BLP's Crowning Glory takes place September 4th and will include names such as Jordan Grace, Parker Bordeaux, and Moose. The event will feature 4 men and 4 women competing in a series of events to determine who is the strongest or most athletic.
Brock Lesnar Jr.
Parker Bordeaux. Didn't he get like a bunch of tattoos when he tried to do that mogul affiliates thing, or were those legit tattoos? I don't know. They look terrible on them.
They were.
But moving forward, as we're starting to get into our NFL portion, Texans head coach D'Amico Ryans played with a certain intensity and determination when he was actively on the field, which translates to his role as coach leading Houston to the playoffs last season. That intensity and determination rubbing off on his players, most notably his defense, as Ryans was a star linebacker during his time in the NFL. Texans practice was riddled with jaw-jacking and shoving as safety Jimmy Ward and Stephon Diggs collided, causing the two to get heated. The sideline cleared up as things broke loose, but then corner Derek Stingley Jr. heard something come from Dalton Schultz, which he didn't appreciate, and shoved Schultz to the ground, creating a bigger commotion before the defense and offense were separated. Now, Ryans wants players to protect their teammates and doesn't encourage fights at practice, but he demands the defense be physical, saying, quote, "When we play defense, we want people to put on our tape and see what we're bringing, that we're bringing it. We're going to be a physical unit. We're physical in practice and we're physical in the game. We don't change up our identity. Whether we step on the field, we're going to be physical, a physical unit, and that's what you have to be if you expect to play defense here in Houston."
That sounds good. I mean, and he's on the field showing them what to do. But I feel that, bro. You gotta keep that intensity no matter what.
Well, and then you can't let up whenever. I get it that it's practice, but you're trying to gear up, especially after the season they had. The Texans are, expected to do even better.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna train like you play.
Yeah. Exactly. And they need more coaches who are old enough to be on the field and showing them what to do instead of coaches who are just sitting there breathing hard in the microphone. I'm just saying.
Of course, it's still nothing but respect on both sides.
Yeah.
The offense doesn't want the defense to take it easy on them, and vice versa. Star quarterback CJ Stroud says it's iron sharpens iron situation, saying, quote, "Those are my teammates and people I want to see do well are on my team. So if Stingley gets me on a play, I ask him what he's seen. And if I get him on a play, he always asks me what I did to make that play work," end quote. So obviously there's some, I wouldn't say, it is a camaraderie, but like
respect.
Yeah, an understanding that, hey, we're just trying to get better.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? That's all constructive criticism is.
The Texans are going on to face the Rams tomorrow at noon, but neither will have starters on the field for this last preseason game. Now, although the 2023 number 2 overall pick will not play, the number 1 pick is starting on his last preseason game. The Panthers' second-year QB, Bryce Young, and the rest of the Carolina starters are set to make their preseason debut Saturday against the Bills before we kick off this regular season. Now, Young stated he trusts whatever decision the coaching staff makes regarding him playing Saturday, and he's confident entering the regular season regardless. Although Young proved to be a solid QB last season with almost 3,000 passing yards and 11 touchdown passes, he did throw 11 picks, and the Panthers had an atrocious season, winning only 2 games. The team has been fighting injuries as they prepare for the upcoming season.
Injuries have been plaguing everybody recently, huh?
They really have.
It's like every sport, dude. It's crazy.
I mean, you get to a certain point in your career to where it's not like you're fresh anymore.
Exactly.
That things require more stretching, things like that. So, I mean, as long as you're continuing to develop and knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and what you need to work on, some people are able to evolve with that time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, iron sharpens iron. That just goes, for injuries, anything.
Yeah.
It just come back stronger pretty much.
If you have that mentality, because some people are like, "Oh man, I can't do this anymore." Just let me quit.
And just below Carolina in Atlanta, the Falcons have been making moves as well. After acquiring 2 Pro Bowlers, they agreed to a 4-year, $81 million contract with A.J. Terrell, according to sources per Adam Schefter. The Falcons are looking pretty stout once again, but I don't know if Cousins could probably take them to that promised land, to be honest with you. Plus, they need a little more love on the wideout front. They only have a couple of decent wideouts. I know they have a couple that they got from the XFL, so hopefully they translate into the NFL. But we'll have to wait and see. It's kind of up in the air over there, especially with Cousins not being that great when it comes to playoff games.
This is something he needs to work on. Take that time in practice and focus more during those playoff games. Make sure always play at 110%, but when you're doing the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Make it count where it counts,
Yeah, I guess we'll have to just wait and see on the whole thing with the former XFL players and see where Atlanta's at further down the road. I don't know, man. It's looking kind of good for them. They got a decent quarterback. It's just he's never been able to really surpass that hump. That's what I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Either he gets over the hump or he stays falling down.
AJ Terrell is actually now the highest paid corner on a per year basis after that deal. Speaking of wideouts, though, the Eagles may have found their 3rd wide receiver. The Washington Commanders sent receiver Jahan Dotson to Philly for a 3rd-round pick and 2 7th-round picks in 2025. Dotson is another major playmaker for Jalen Hurts and could complement star receivers A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. With this addition, the Eagles' offense looks stacked, and if Dotson stays in the slot, he can help take the pressure off of Brown or Smith, opening up the field for Hurts. Then they have, Saquon Barkley, who they just acquired from the Giants not too long ago, taking care of the run game, and with his ability to run along with Hurts' ability to do the same, it also opens up a world of possibilities for this offense and looks downfield as well. I'm curious to see if they'll take that balanced approach, because you need, to run the ball in order to get those play action plays to work and open up the field. So it's an exciting time for Eagles fans. It's they're looking really stacked. Unfortunately, they're going to be missing Kelsey. I miss him too. So,
Taylor Swift's brother-in-law.
I hate you.
I'm just messing with you.
I was so upset when he retired, man. But yeah, well, good for him.
Good for the Eagles. Anything that happens to them good, it just means that the Cowboys are going to hate them so much more, and I'm cool with that.
Now, with the NFL season creeping up, and also the fantasy football season, the 3 top receivers in the game are still holding out with no updates on CD in Dallas. Brandon Ayuk is still has yet to garner his deal with San Fran, and after the Commanders' trade rumors are swirling that they might be in the market for Ayuk, but they have said in San Francisco, the GM stated that there is a sense of urgency when it comes to making a deal with Ayuk, so hopefully they do keep him. Plus, then we have Jamar Chase, who is also holding out, but unlike Lamb and Ayuk, Chase still has 2 years remaining on his rookie deal after Cincinnati picked up his 5th-year option, and their president suggests a deal won't be done until next year. So with all three's returns still up in the air, should you draft them? As we've seen, holdouts, could be a bad thing for players, given Ezekiel Elliott, when he held out, he got that big old deal. What happened to him? So on and so forth. The list goes on. But it makes you wonder, should you draft these people when it comes to fantasy football? And I would say probably so. They're way too big of a get to not have on your fantasy football team. Some people might tread lightly going into it and leave them out there. So just keep an eye on them. It really depends on when your draft is, also how many people are in your league, and if you have the room to store those people and have them sit there just in case something goes wrong or something happens. Now, I don't really have much concern for like Lamb and Ayuk, but despite being one of the most productive wide receivers in his first 3 seasons, I would want to tread a little more lightly with Jamar Chase. He's an amazing talent, don't get me wrong, but T. Higgins has been taking up the wide receiver 1 position, and he's been flourishing. Even if they make a deal, I can see Burrow favoring Higgins, given their growing connection this offseason and during camp. Chase might end up being their wide receiver 2, and it's going to depend on how many people, of course, like I said, are in your league. So I would say either way, you want to get both of these guys. Even if he does end up being a wide receiver 2, Jamar Chase is still gonna make those points for you. He's still gonna make those catches. He's still gonna gain those yards. So it's a hard one to gauge, but I would say still seek them out. Yeah. Maybe if somebody does leave them out there, you can pick them up, but I doubt they're going to be out there after the draft.
I mean, dude, either way, it's a gamble. I've been in positions where I've picked Le'Veon Bell, and I know that stuff happened with Le'Veon Bell.
He held out too.
Yeah. But he came back and he was demolishing the points, you know what I'm saying, for a while. I think the last time I played fantasy football, Christian McCaffrey was going off, and he got traded. Like, remember?
Well, I mean, he's been going off anyway.
No, but I'm saying
San Fran.
Now, but I'm saying when he was still with the Panthers, right? When he was still with the Panthers, he got traded like mid-season, correct?
I can't remember if it was mid-season or not.
Or something like that. It happened, something like that. Something happened with him. He got injured or he got moved. So it's been, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just hit or miss. Like I'm sure people drafted Antonio Brown back in the day, and then he walked out. Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen.
But the biggest one I would go for is probably Lamb.
Yeah, Lamb.
For
sure, dude. I just have him on the back burner, man. You know, he's one of those people who could be a sleeper for you.
I'm sure they're going to try and make a deal. They have to. It would be stupid not to make a deal.
They got like 2 weeks until football starts.
Yeah.
They need to do something.
I know. There hasn't really been any updates recently. I haven't checked before we came on, so who knows? It could have changed by now. But speaking of the Cowboys, though, it seems rookie linebacker Maurice Leafal is catching eyes and coaches' trust, with the linebackers coach Scott McCurley saying, quote, "You know what? I don't know where it comes from, but he got up there with confidence and he's ripped it. It was awesome," end quote. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer also went on to promise he'll play good this week. His presence could have QBs shaking, opting to throw away the ball or to make a mistake. Leofau says Zimmer, quote, "definitely has had words to say to me to just play out there, and he knew the first game nerves were setting in, my first NFL game, things like that. His advice to me was just cut it loose," end quote. And Leofau did just that. As long as he stays healthy, I can see him being a huge part of the defense and putting the pressure on these quarterbacks as we move forward into the season. And before we go off there, we're finally going off the air after an hour and 15 minutes. Shakur Stevenson is set to defend his title against Joe Cordina October 12th, which will be a co-feature on the long-awaited Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol undisputed light heavyweight title bout. This one has a pretty decent card. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I will share it once again. I did share it a while back, but I will share it once again for those who want to know. Plus, we'll talk about it more, as we get closer to the bout. But on top of that, for this month, we still got some pretty decent bouts. We got Naoya Inoue taking on TJ Doney, excuse me. 12 rounds for the Inoue's Junior Featherweight Championship, Undisputed Junior Featherweight Championship, excuse me. Which that one's going to be a great matchup. That one's going to come out on ESPN Plus September 3rd. Of course, September 14th, we got that mega card with Canelo and Berlanga. For Canelo's Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship. Also, we got on September 12th, Carolyn Dubois' brother Daniel Dubois is facing Anthony Joshua for 12 rounds for the vacant IBF heavyweight title. So lots of things to look forward to check out this month. And then we're even getting closer now to Jake Paul and Tyson, which is in 2 months now.
I hope so. I've been waiting.
Well, they're saying that Tyson's ready.
I've been waiting.
Well, Tyson's saying Tyson's ready.
Tyson's ready to knock out Jake Paul. Okay,
I don't know if it's going to happen, dude.
He better, or I'm going to lose all respect for Mike Tyson.
I mean, he's old.
So?
What do you expect?
He's
not going to be like...
He's going to have like a flashback of like that one when he came... I don't know.
Bro, if he bites off his ear.
No, okay, that'd be nice. That'd be good television. But he's going to have like them old Mike Tyson flashbacks. He's going to like look at Jake Paul and see Buster Douglas and then knock him out. This is for knocking me out.
Well, that is all we have for you today, folks. We went a little long. Sorry about that. Also, sorry about going on air there for like 4 minutes and realizing that it wasn't working on Facebook, having to come back on. We're sorry for that, for anybody who did tune in initially, and we'd like to thank you all for tuning in for the second one.
Appreciate that. I do have something to say. I got an announcement. August 27th, I'll be dropping my first song on all platforms. The song is called Captain. I will have Chris go ahead and put in the link when it does drop on Tuesday. So if anybody wants to go ahead and check that out, I would appreciate that. Give me feedback, like, share, comment. I'm very excited. I just wanted to go ahead and let you all know that if you're interested, y'all can go ahead and hop on this journey with me.
And we'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate all your love and support. We hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and y'all stay safe this weekend.
Later.